Has there ever been a time where things have been clicking for you, but then you reach a certain plateau of success? On today's episode, we're going to go over complacency and how to overcome the seduction of success. Justin, we hear about it a lot, man. Complacency, plateauing, doing the status quo. You ever been there?
Yeah, I think you'd be lying if you were to say you have not. Every single person's experienced complacency.
Yep.
I mean, it's everywhere. It's in every industry. It's on every sports team. It's in every individual. Everyone has it.
Every team.
The difference is who recognizes that it makes a change compared to who recognizes that or just doesn't care.
Yeah.
And they stay exactly right there.
I think it's one of the hardest things to do, right? Like, I think even when you look at like sports teams and, different athletic teams out there, it's like repeating as like a champion or repeating like a successful year after you've had a good year is like one of the hardest things to do. Even on athletic teams or sports teams, that is one of the hardest things to do, is to repeat as back-to-back champions, or to repeat a great year and then follow it up with another amazing year, right? People have that complacency that they're doing pretty good. They take things for granted and they don't work as hard. They don't push themselves to that next level once they've achieved a certain level of success. I know that, for me, this happened a handful of times in my sales career in freight brokerage, where I'd reach a certain level of success. I feel pretty good about it, and I would kind of coast for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I would feel real shitty internally.
Yep.
And I'd say, okay, all right, man, like you need to turn it around. Right? Where, maybe my diet, nutrition got out of whack. And I was like, you know what? My justification for that was like, you know what? I'm making decent money. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm just going to, ride this thing out. And at the end of the day, like from the complacency side of it, it's such a bad feeling when you go back and you look back 3, 4, 6 months and you're like, God, why didn't I try harder? Why didn't I do the things to set myself up for success?
You ask yourself in that situation, why didn't I go back and set myself up for success, whatever it may be? Ask yourself, you recognize that moment, but you were hitting goals.
Sure.
So you likely had a goal.
Yep.
Let's just use your previous role. You likely had a goal to, let's just use a round number, $1 million.
Sure.
You want to sell $1 million. Well, you hit that goal. What's your goal next year?
Yeah.
Because you got a clean slate every year.
Yeah.
Same thing with sports.
Right.
You hit the goal, but like, is your goal this year $1 million? Did you raise it to $2 million?
Yeah.
So like you get seduced by that type of success, you start getting comfortable. Mm-hmm. And the only way to get over that is if you continue to push yourself. You have an accountability partner.
Yeah.
You set new goals, whatever it may be. There's a number of strategies to avoid complacency. But when I've experienced that, it's always been because I lost track of my goals, or I hit my goals and I was like, great, sweet, now what?
What next? I think Ben Newman, he's a guy that we follow when we went up to his event in Vegas in October. And he's a guy that talks about the seduction of success. I've never heard of it that way before him. So kudos to him. I don't know if that's his own material or if that's original content or what. But, that's a great depiction of how you have a certain level of success. And I think sometimes, like as individuals, we have to define what is success, right? What is it that we're actually trying to achieve? What's attainable? And so I even think when you get that, where I feel like the real person comes out is how do you achieve after you get that point? Because I think anybody can be a flash in the pan. Anybody can, do a thing one time, but can you have that continued success over time, over whether that's sales, whether that's logistics, whether that's, sports, it doesn't matter the industry or, the avenue, but how do you have that continued success?
Yeah. And you and I were fortunate enough to listen to Tim Grover speak.
Yeah.
The dude's an absolute animal. Zero bullshit. If you don't know who Tim Grover is, he's notorious for being, just insane, but he was Michael Jordan's trainer. He went on to train a number of other, high-level athletes like Kobe. But Brian and I had an opportunity to hear him speak. And why it's so difficult to win year over year at the highest level is because you get seduced by success.
Yeah.
You lose track of the habits that got you to that championship level, and you're not building on anything because you get comfortable because you won a championship. It's not saying like Jordan. Yeah. Jordan was like he three-peated twice. So like there's different levels of that type of discipline, but doing it at a high level year over year and building on that is what separates the 1% from the average.
Yeah. And I love, like, even in our industry, man, like that's where we have a clean slate every week, right? We go on a weekly basis, and the revenue numbers you put up or the sales that you have or the shipments moved you have, they restart on Monday morning every week. And I love that piece because you can really see who's in it for the long haul if they have a handful of weeks that are really good in a row and then they die off, right? And okay, what happened? Did they stop trying as hard? Did they stop prospecting? Did they not keep their pipeline as full as they should have? Those are things, especially as sales managers or leaders of companies, to keep an eye on. Okay, what happens when this rep or this person reaches that level? Do they dip afterwards, right? And not every industry is similar to ours. A lot of times people, their contracts or their sales are one and done. I know that was what I had at my previous company, where you would sell a deal, it would get implemented by somebody else, and I'm out to find the next deal, right? And like, what's my pipeline look like? And you've said this a million times before, but 30, 60, 90 days prior, that's usually the activity or the deals close that you get in the future.
Correct. The championship level, that's how you do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Brian, you don't have someone following you around, hovering over your head, or just in your shadow saying like, hey, you're getting complacent.
Yeah.
You know, Brian, you're a little lazy here. Like, like, there's no one following you around.
Sure.
What are some tools you use or some habits you created to avoid that type of complacency?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've taken like the Enneagram test before, and I'm an Enneagram 3, which is like I think it's like the achiever or whatever. I forget what they call it. But I think that's somewhat of the way that I was wired. I know a lot of it was the way I was raised growing up. You know, mom and dad, they were always trying to achieve whatever that was, right? They were, whether that's in business or at home or trying to make sure that things were right. I think a lot of the credit goes to them. I think for me, I try to rely on, different tools, right? I have an app on my phone called Habit Share. It's a great app. If for those of you that don't know what it is, you can put in 5 or 6 different habits and you literally go in, you check red or green every single day that you complete it, right? So it might be like a 45-minute workout. Okay, check. It might be reading 10 pages. Okay, check. I know that Andy Frisella, somebody that we follow, has a power list. And that might be anywhere from 3 to 5 items that you go in and check every single day so that you can stay consistent, which is a word that I know you love. Yeah. And an action, not just a word, an action.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And I think there's a lot of value mentally when you're checking a box or crossing something off.
Yep.
For me, it's always crossing off or deleting. I got sticky notes, virtual sticky notes on my computer, but I'll create a list. I do it at night. I do it in the morning, and literally just deleting things off that list is fulfilling. It makes me feel more productive because all those small, very simple tasks build to long-term goals. So 2 pieces we still need to truly hit on here, Brian.
Yeah.
1, what is success? Like, how do you define success? And 2, what's wrong with enjoying your success? Like, you're getting seduced by it? Are you getting complacent? What's wrong with just enjoying the success you've had?
I can't really define success. The definition of success is based on a person-by-person basis. That's something that, your definition of it might be a little bit different than mine, and it might be different than another person. And I think that, a lot of times we get told this often, but, to sit back and smell the roses, right? And I think there is value in that. I think, for more than 24 hours, I think I personally would have a hard time, right? And I think that might be the way that I'm wired or what I see. I'm working on that personally to stop and smell the roses and see some of the success that we've had, in the first, 3-4 years of business.
I would agree with that. And I do think, my definition of success has evolved or changed throughout chapters of my life.
Yeah.
If you asked me when I was 23 years old, success is, I just want to make a ton of money. I didn't think about anything else besides making a ton of money.
Yeah.
But your values change, you mature, you get older. And now success in my eyes is, am I living a truly fulfilling life with where I'm at right now?
Yeah.
We have goals, which success can be tied to those goals.
Sure.
And you and I, we want to build a company. We want to build a company and impact people. Success can be viewed differently for how far we want to take that company. But I have a number in mind. I have an employee headcount in mind.
Sure.
I have certain things that I want us to do. And we're very aligned in a lot of those areas. But in 10 years, am I really going to view that as success? Or am I going to view success as being able to make every single sporting event for my kids and being able to take a 7-day vacation with my kids and truly be present and enjoy that time with them?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. And you nailed it. There are so many different definitions of success, and yours and mine are very much aligned. There are certain things, and I think it's a good thing to have goals and to want to achieve certain metrics, right? I think it's a fine line. It's a very fine line, especially when you have kids and a family and you're getting into a different stage of life where, okay, exactly what you just said. I want to be able to take off at 3 o'clock on a Thursday to go watch my daughter play soccer. That's my definition of success. Now, with you, what is, and I think it might change like 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, but what's your definition of success in your current state?
Success for me is being truly fulfilled one day at a time. If I have goals, daily goals that lead to weekly goals, and I'm fulfilled each day doing those goals, and I'm going to bed knowing that I had a damn good day. I was present with my kids. I invested in our team. I was a good partner for Brian and didn't cause any bullshit. Like, that is success for me at the stage I'm at right now. That is going to change. But the only person that can define that success is you. You as an individual have to define your own success. And social media and any BS you see online, like, that is not success.
There's so many societal factors, and I hate that. Like, I wish people would be more mentally strong. I think I'm mentally weak sometimes where I let that societal stuff creep in, right? Where it's, if you have to be mentally strong and understand and have a crystal clear picture of what is success to me. Okay, success means that I get to, I've earned the right to leave at 4:30 to go exercise, or I've earned the opportunity to leave early to go to my kids' event or recital or game or whatever that looks like. Yeah, I think that each person has to define it and what that truly means, as opposed to society and Instagram and social media telling us what it should look like.
Unfortunately, that's the case. We hope you all enjoyed this episode. Take some time and think, what does success actually look like for you? Don't get seduced by success. Don't be complacent. You, at the end of the day, are the only one that's going to know whether or not you're being complacent and getting comfortable. So think about what success looks like for you. Push yourself to continue moving towards that direction, and let us know how we can help you get there. At the end of the day, I try to get better from attending those as opposed to just going through the motions, showing my face and leaving.
Yeah.
Like, if you're already going to be there, get something out of it.
Right.
But there's also the network connection where you're meeting people and you're building some of those relationships that you don't always get to see those people.